From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is your weather at noon.
Hey folks, good afternoon. Thanks for joining me for your Live at Noon, your February 15th, day after Valentine's edition. And sure enough, we got some active weather to talk about. Now, we already have some of those showers and storms ongoing across the area here as of midday. Taking a look at our local radar, you can kind of get a good picture of that. We have some rumbles of thunder out there in Wayne County already starting to pick up. These are what we call elevated, so they don't really pose any sort of real severe weather threat. But when thunder roars go indoors, that's just a good axiom for life in general. Those continue to push north and east, and we've seen that through the morning, mostly relegated to southern middle Tennessee, though, right now. And temperatures up here, not quite as warm as they are off to the south, but they're going to continue to warm up over the next several hours. Upper 50s right now, dew points in the 50s as well. It kind of shows that moisture's in the area. Winds out of the south-southeast are kind of the activating cause of all this active weather. I'll discuss that more in just a second. Hopping across the state line, they're kind of exaggerated, right? Both the temperatures, the dew points, and the winds, you really see those conditions starting to get a little exaggerated. Notice the camera's kind of shaking a little bit. Temperatures in the upper 60s already, dew points in the lower 60s, with winds, again, out of the south, 25, 30 miles an hour with those gusts. It's breezy out there. In fact, that's why we have that wind advisory out there, just for the non-thunderstorm wind gusts here through this evening and into tonight, because of that warm moisture coming in from the Gulf, placing itself down in the Tennessee Valley. And as a result, of course, we've been talking about this. We got this widespread severe weather risk across the area. We kind of split the water, so to speak, with a level 3 out of 5 risk, kind of dividing the line in the shoals west, so western Lauderdale County, Colbert County, Franklin County down to Corridor X region in Winston County, Wayne County west, and as well portions of Hardin County and Tishomingo County are all in that level 3 out of 5 risk. Level 2 as you head further east, but that doesn't mean the chance is necessarily worth taking less seriously, right? It's not going to be that it exactly Florence is going to become a level 2 out of 5 risk, but still, nonetheless, it's a good baseline here, level 2 out of 5. As we head through tonight, that's going to continue to cause issues. So let's take a look at the futurecast. This has a pretty good handle on things. We saw some of these showers on the models that we're seeing right now, so we think this has a reasonable handle on how the environment is handling things so far. Now, as we head through the next several hours, notice those showers kind of letting up a little bit. They're lifting off to the north. We have a little bit of a lull in the more widespread shower chances, and that's as the stage is being set for those severe weather chances through this evening and into tonight. Those temperatures get back to the 60s in southern middle Tennessee in due time, really pretty quickly, just over the next couple of hours. And of course, we're already in the 60s here in northwestern Alabama. Wouldn't shock me if we actually start seeing more of these 70-degree temps starting to pop up here over the next few hours. Then as we head through sunset and beyond, that's whenever we start to see the first signs of trouble off to our west. So first of all, got two things to talk about. One is that line out there by Memphis. That's going to be pushing east over the 6 to 12 hour time frame through this evening and into tonight. But also, and this is a little bit of what we call a conditional threat, the possibility out ahead of it of some storms developing, becoming supercells, right? So if these can take advantage of the environment, get developed, get a robust updraft, and produce some severe weather, well, I think they could do it pretty efficiently. We might even have a few tornadoes with those if they can take full advantage of the environment they're given. That's a big if right now, but you know, the signal is there, right? And I don't want you saying, all right, at exactly 6, Waynesboro is going to see this cell. That's not exactly what this is showing. This is just showing you a general idea that, okay, the environment is somewhat favorable. So we'll have to keep a very close eye on that because, again, if those can take full advantage of the conditions they're given, a few tornadoes could be possible if they start rotating, damaging winds, things like that. And that's just one portion of the threat. Of course, as we head through this evening, 9, 10, 11 o'clock, big time line moving through here, right? Notice as we head through that kind of 9, 10, 11 to midnight time frame, we see that huge line there, damaging winds 50, 60, 70 miles an hour, and maybe a few tornado warnings there in the line as well with a couple tornadoes possible. So threat's definitely not over just because it's a line. That much is for sure. Heavy rain in there as well, so some flash flooding is possible, if not likely at times because we're already saturated. That pushes towards the 65 corridor northeast Alabama as we head through midnight at 2 a.m. By the time we're heading through 3, 4, 5, 6, so the early morning hours of tomorrow, we're going to be just fine. Look at that cold air sweeping through. We got a big time change over the next several days. I think those showers move out of here though, and I think we're fine for our Sunday. Just much cooler, right? The cold front makes itself known in a big way, and that's going to be the weather maker for the next several days. But first, we got to get through today, right? And like I was talking about through this evening tonight, let's take a look at the threats. Few tornadoes will be possible, both with the line and possibly, again, like I've been saying, I've been kind of emphasizing the conditionality of the threat. If those cells out ahead of it can take advantage of the line, or take advantage of the conditions rather, a few tornadoes could be possible with those as well. So we really need to keep a close eye on it. Now, it's not going to be 20 F5 tornadoes coming through, nothing like that, but it doesn't need to be that to be dangerous, right? So stay with us. We'll let you know if any warnings are issued live nonstop till the danger is over, because 1F0 right on top of your home, that's your April 27th, right? It doesn't need to be some major thing all across the region. to be important and to be dangerous. So let's keep a very close eye on that. High winds, damaging winds, 60, 70 miles an hour. Yeah, I could see that happening, especially in that line. But it doesn't take necessarily that much to knock some trees down. We're already saturated, so a good 45, 50 mile an hour wind gust could do just the same because we've gotten so much rain over the last week or so. Same reason here with the elevated flooding risk, because we are getting more of that heavy rain, right? And like with those trees, we already are saturated, right? So it doesn't take much to get some of those flash flooding across the area. Hail's not really a huge issue. I think the biggest threat of hail would be with those cells if they can develop an updraft out ahead of it, but I don't think the hail will be particularly large, maybe up to quarter size, which could maybe leave a nick in your windshield, but I don't think that's going to be one of the main threats. Again, I think it's high wind, flooding, and maybe a few tornadoes as well that we need to keep a very close eye on. Now, as we head through tonight, like I said, I think it starts to kind of manifest that threat off to our west, Tishomingo County out towards the western portions of our area. Sunset 6, 7, 8 o'clock, maybe in that time frame. Core of our area, Shoals, southern Middle Tennessee, Lawrence County, down to Corridor X, Franklin County, Colbert County, and south. Probably 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock, that general time frame. So this is all going to be after sunset. We got to keep that in mind here. And then as we head towards 65 and east, the Huntsville metropolitan area, we're going to be talking 10, 11, midnight. Probably midnight to 2 as it pushes east here outside of our area. So it's going to be an active night, that much is for sure. And of course, it being a nighttime situation, you're going to have a loud way to get warnings just in case those are issued, right? We've got a few good resources here. Of course, our app is always free all the time. We'll keep you updated there. Notifications can be pushed through your phone. You can scan that QR code on the screen here, download it free on the Google Play Store, iOS, Apple, things like that. And also, it's not free, but it is very, very useful, a NOAA weather radio. These things are pretty cheap at the store, maybe 20, 30 bucks at most. And I'll tell you what, these things can wake a dead man from his grave. They are absolutely loud. I have 2 of these in my house, and they're very, very useful. So you want to have one of those because if any warnings are issued, maybe you have your phone's dead or something, that can get you through something in a pinch. All right, so let's take a look at what we have out towards past this system right now. Big time winter change, right? That's kind of the story here as we head through the next 7 days. Notice those 40s turning into 30s. Below freezing as we head through that time frame, right? Big time changes. I mean, compared to the 60s, maybe even near 70 at times of the next few days, if you're susceptible to those weather headaches, you're really going to be feeling it over the next several days, that much is for sure. And of course, got those severe chances through this evening and into tonight, so we'll have to keep a very, very close eye on that. Wednesday, your eyes do not deceive you, a chance of some wintry precipitation. That is true. We're keeping a very close eye on that as well. We'll have more details once we get past this system, but of course, like I just mentioned, let's get through this first. We'll have more details in due time about what we can expect for the next 7 days.
You're watching the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel.